Hi friends, welcome to Harmony Hills Home and Garden. I'm Jenny. We're gardening here in Baltimore, Maryland, Zone 7. Today's project is to beat the rain and get this Wine and Roses Weigela into the ground before the rain comes. Come with me, let's see if we can do that. I'm putting in this Wine and Roses Weigela over here on our north property border with our neighbors. This is where we're building a new no-dig bed that comes down the length of the north side of our property. I just recently planted 3 skip laurels here, and earlier today, but in a different video, I planted 4 arrowwood viburnums out closer to the street. And today's project is to get this Wine and Roses Weigela into the ground. Wine and Roses is a beautiful shrub. It has beautiful dark burgundy colored foliage in the summer, and then it also has green, and so it's a nice dark greenish burgundy color. And then here are the specs on it. It wants to be in full sun, and it's hardy in zones 4 through 8. Gets to be 4 to 5 feet tall and wide. Blooms in the spring, but it has beautiful foliage in the summer and the fall. Medium deer resistant, so I probably will spray this just to keep the deer off of it. And then this is what it looks like when it's in full bloom, if it's a happy plant. As far as placement goes, I think you're just going to have to use your imaginations a little bit. You may remember that we created a new garden bed that starts right here, and we cut a new edge, and it goes along here all the way down to the skip laurels, way down there. And so I'm trying to do a shrub border here, mostly shrubs, maybe some perennials in the future, but for now, mostly shrubs. I don't want a row of tin soldiers along here, so I didn't want to do a hedge. And I also don't want a chaotic, misshapen, weird-looking shrub border. However, right now, you might think that it's kind of weird looking. What we currently have is this sugar tip Rose of Sharon. This will eventually grow to be 8 to 12 feet tall and 6 to 7 feet wide. But right now, it's only 2 feet wide and 2 feet tall. But over the seasons, it will grow and be a nice, big, beautiful mass of variegated foliage with light, ruffly pink flowers in the summer. And then I'm planning to put this Weigela right here beside it, and I'm going to set it in this location. If this gets to be 6 feet wide, then it would come over to about right here. And then there would be the Weigela would come over to meet it. So if I put the pot right there, these should play nicely with each other. This gets 4 to 5 feet wide. So now this is a skip laurel that is really struggling. We had transplanted it from a different part of our yard earlier in the summer, and it really struggled. I did cut out all the dead material, and I have no idea if this is going to regrow. I thought about doing a rejuvenation prune on these, but I think if I do that, I'll wait till the spring so that it does have this green foliage to keep it alive and photosynthesizing. So this may die, or it may live. But if I put the Weigela here, then it can play nice with that, even if it lives. And there's still a little bit of room back here behind to put something evergreen. I'd like to back up this Rose of Sharon with some evergreens along here. Just a nice little grouping of maybe 3 somethings, I don't know what, so that while this is young, it's backed by something green. Now, our next door neighbors are planning to take out these yew stumps next year. I don't know what they're going to end up replacing it with. They may go with something evergreen along there, or they may not. I can't depend on anybody but our own selves to do anything for borrowed views. So if they do put evergreen back in there, that'll be nice for this stuff that we're putting in here. But I don't want to rely on that. So maybe next year I'll put in something green and evergreen kind of in a little cup around this. And that's something that will stay, I don't know, 4 feet tall at most or something. I don't know. That's still a design choice that I have for the future. Now we also still have to put in our stone walkway to come this way from here for the mail carrier, and from here, from the gate out to the lawn. That will happen in the spring. I'm probably going to put some temporary stepping stones here for the mail carrier over the winter. But for right now, she's walking through here and then over here and this way. And I've told her that stepping stones are coming, but she said, don't worry about it. She can walk this way just fine. She's a really nice lady. So, All right, so placement. Oh, and then over here I have the Eastern Snowball Viburnum. And so my plan for this is to let it get 10 to 15 feet tall and bushy and to put it into a tree form. So over the years, this will be a nice big tree form up here with branches that show on the trunks, but that's going to be a few years away. And in the meantime, I'm going to let it grow into a nice big shrub here. And then I don't know what the skip laurel is going to do, but then the red burgundy foliage and the pink blooms of the Weigela will be nice here. Now, it does kind of look like just a row of random shrubs along here, but please use your imaginations and imagine other things planted in along here and maybe some perennials, and it's going to be beautiful. It just has a little bit of an ugly duckling phase between now and then. That's been a lot of talking. Let me get planting. I'm really grateful that we've had some pretty decent rain lately. And so the soil here is not terribly hard to dig. I did come across one tree root that I was able to cut with my shovel. It was about 3/4 of an inch in diameter, so it wasn't that bad. But the soil being wet does remind me, we have clay soil here, and clay soil does hold on to water, especially in the winter. So I'm going to make sure that I use my method here that I learned from Jim Putnam and from Jenny at Creekside, Gardening with Creekside. And that is to leave your root ball 1 inch or so above the soil level and backfill only to that 1 inch line. And that way the crown of the plant won't rot out in the wet winter clay soil. Now the other thing I like to do is I do leave that inch right there, but then I make a little kind of a moat or a collar around the root ball so that when the rain comes or when I water with the hose, the water can go right down into the roots. That's a little bit too much root ball showing, so let me fix that. There we go. And we have millions of these little wild onions here in this soil, and I've given up on them. They're just going to be here. I tried to sort them out when I planted the skip laurels, and it was definitely a losing battle. So they'll just be part of our garden. All right, so I'll give myself a little moat here for water retention, because we slope from this side of the property down that way. So water would just run off down here if I didn't do this. All right, that's about it. So that was a very quick and surprisingly easy planting job this fall. Fall is a great time for planting. Here in Zone 7, we are just about, I would say, near the end of our planting season. I know in Zone 6 and above, or 6 and north, you're probably not planting anymore, maybe a little bit in some sheltered microclimates in your garden or something, and this will give the roots a nice opportunity over the winter to kind of settle in, and then next spring the shrub will kind of burst forth and grow. So I'm excited about that. So I did not throw away any of this grass and weeds and things that I dug out of this hole. I'm just leaving them here. Over the course of the next few weeks, we'll be continuing this no-dig border all the way down here, and we're going to be putting down cardboard and then leaves or other plant material, organic material along here to make a no-dig flower bed. So I'm not terribly worried about the grass that I pulled out just laying here. That's fine. there's a small chance that I'm not giving this plant enough sun to really put on a full flower show. It won't get sun until in the summertime at about, I'm looking at the trees and the sky. I think it starts to get sun here at about 11 in the morning in the summer. And then the sun tracks across the sky this way. And by about 4 in the afternoon, maybe, it's in the shade again. And it might actually be less sun than what I just described. So there's a chance that this won't be sunny enough for this location to really flower very well. If I find next summer that it's not getting enough sun, I won't be afraid to move this shrub. It will only be a year old. I'll be able to get it out and move it to a better location where it will get more sun so that it can put on its best flower show. Well, that's it, friends. Thanks so much for joining me today on this cold and rainy fall day here in Baltimore. I hope you enjoyed what you saw, and if you did, maybe subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, put them down in the section below. I'd love to hear from you and chat with you about what's going on in your garden. Do you have a Wine and Roses Weigela? How does it do for you? Do you happen to have one in a part shade location or a part sun location? If you do, tell me how yours does with regard to flowering. I'd love to know what I should expect in this location. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful day in your garden, friends, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.